Hello there, today we're going to be having a bit of a different review with a dual review on Legacy Animated Prowl and Chromia. Now, since Chromia is just a simple repaint with a new head, I figured that I might as well just review both of them together. Now, taking a closer look, we'll start with the original. Now, as you can see, he is a modernized version of Animated Prowl. Fairly faithful with, of course, the usual legacy styling that they do. He's cast mostly in black plastic as well as some nice tan, has some gray, and then the gold bits are all painted on. Not much kibble. You can fold this down if you wish, but I would recommend leaving it up. Got some nice rivets, the gold detailing there, the Autobot symbol dead center with a white backing, which looks nice. Some black and gold paint on the crotch right there. This is all just cast in plastics. It's got the nice gold on the inside as well as the shurikens on the outside, cast in a gold plastic. Nice arm. This is all the paint for bike mode. Also worth noting, the entire chest of the figure is indeed clear plastic. Hinges so far have been fine on me, but it is worth noting that pretty much the entire chest here is clear plastic. With the head sculpt, pretty well detailed there. Has quite a lot of paint actually. You got a nice blue visor, silver face here, silver in the little top bit of the crest. You got gold for the rest of the crest, as well as some little gold circles on his ears, which looks really nice. I wasn't expecting that. It's pretty well painted, all things considered, for a modern deluxe. But the only issue I have really with this head sculpt is that the animated design has the long chin, which, I mean, they have the long chin, but it looks weird here because the whole thing with Animated Prowl is he's supposed to have like an old school police helmet that like covers only up to here, and then his chin is just supposed to be exposed underneath. They ended up putting like chin guards around him, and it kind of just makes his head look really long. They basically fused G1 Prowl into Animated Prowl, which I don't dig the aesthetic of. It kind of sucks because the rest of him is pretty good. It looks straight up like Animated Prowl. He even has like the baggy pants look and everything. They just, for some reason, decided to overdo it with the G1ification of his face. Would have loved if they didn't do that, but oh well. Now, as you might see, he's got two different hands. One that is a very relaxed, almost closed hand, and then this one that's very clearly just a 5mm port hand. He doesn't come with anything to hold that's 5mm, but he does come with these shurikens that pop off of the sides of his wheels, and they did paint underneath the shurikens, which is very cool. I appreciate that. Does make his legs look a bit skinny without them, but it's almost unavoidable with this gimmick. And those are on both sides. Now, both of these are cast in a golden plastic, but it's more of like a mustardy gold, so it doesn't really have any shine to it, which, at least thankfully, this won't disintegrate on you. And with these, you just rotate them and they open up. The gimmick can be a little fiddly. Prowls is fairly easy. They both open up pretty easily on mine. That becomes a bit of an issue with Chromia, but we'll get to that. And then those, you just take the blades and you slide them into his hand. There you go. On this hand, they are pretty solid. I mean, they're not going to go anywhere. For articulation on this guy, you do have a ball joint at the head. You can rotate 360 if you want. You can look all the way up, which is very nice. They have a cutout on the back of the head, which way more Transformers need. His shoulders have a full 360. Then they can go outwards in 90 degrees. He has a bicep swivel here, 90 degrees at the elbow. Tiny bit of hollowness, but that's fine for transformation. He does have a waist swivel that is completely unrestricted. And then you can technically give him an ab crunch. If you slightly move his chest upwards, you can get a very nice ab crunch, which I appreciate. It's technically meant for the transformation, but hey, you can cheat it and give him some very good articulation. Now for the hips, you can do a full spread. Hips will kick all the way up. You do have a thigh swivel. You do have a over 90 degree knee bend, and then you have a bit of an ankle rocker on a ball joint, and the foot can just go all the way down. And then you also, thanks to transformation, can move this around for the sake of posing if you need it. Outside of the 90 degree elbow bends, I would say he's pretty insanely articulated. Now for Chromia, this was a figure that I was skeptical of because frankly the mold is meant to be a male character, just proportionally. I think she deserved more of a unique mold or at least one that would have lessened how broad the shoulders are. But otherwise, I do think this color scheme surprisingly works very well. The only new thing on here is the head, which the head sculpt's very nice. Very good Chromia head sculpt. With beautiful blue eyes, silver paint on the face, and then the head, I believe, is painted blue, because it is a more matte finish than the actual rest of the blue plastic. Then you got silver up here, red on there, and it's a very good head sculpt. Pretty well detailed even on the sides here too. Otherwise, the rest of it is exactly the same as Prowl, just painted slightly differently, as you can see. They pretty much changed out how the deco is laid out on the windshield here with a different shape, narrowing the window, having red translucent plastic as well instead of the dark clear windows. And then instead of gold, you get these nice little highlights of blue here and even on the inside of the wheels here. I don't know, it just works. It's a very eye-catching color scheme. I appreciate it. I'm not sure I would say like one is definitively better than the other. They're completely different characters, obviously. This being black plastic, it's fine for the character, obviously. Just when comparing them, I appreciate this more for how eye-catching it is. And then, of course, she's got the shurikens, which are this insanely bright blue. As you can see, compared to the mustard color, this is just so bright and vibrant. I got this one working smoothly, a little too smoothly, because I had to force these outwards. Her other shuriken, I have not messed with, and it does take a weird amount of force to get it to work. Like, I am trying to rotate this right now, and it doesn't work. You have to kind of pry at the shuriken spikes to get it to activate. I don't know if that's an issue with the mold after being reused or not. Without the shurikens, I think for Chromia it works a lot better because she's got this nice blue halo around here as well as the center. I think it works better as well because of just the color breakup here. It's a nice breakup in the blue legs here with a darker blue and nice ring. I don't know, it for some reason works better. I do wish she got her own unique mold, but hey, with the mold she was given, she looks pretty darn good. Now, going into transformation, I'm going to be using Chromia for this one. Prowl will transform exactly the same. You will want to take the fists, fold them in on both sides. You'll want to take this backpack, slightly and tab it, twist the waist, have Chromia look up, feed this through like so, and then you just bring the waist down, bring the arms back, and then tab these together. Fold the seat down, of course. Take the handlebars, fold them up. You'll want the leg with the longer bit on the front side of the bike. And you'll just rotate it like this. Rotate that upwards. And then you just feed this upwards. Bend at the knee. And then you kind of just feed the foot into the top of the motorcycle up here. And then the other leg, you just bend it downwards like this. Bring it up like this. And then before you tab anything else in, I would highly recommend just getting the kickstand out right now. And then these two tabs will go onto slots on the inside of these panels. And then you kind of just adjust it slightly because these legs really do not lock in all that well. And there you are with Chromia and her motorcycle mode. And there they both are in their bike modes. Now, starting with Prowl here. As you can see, it's got, it's a motorcycle, pretty much what you expect a police motorcycle to look like. A bit unsightly in the middle here with the very, very obvious just crumpled up leg on the bottom. Pretty nice painting on this though. Got nice gold around here. You got little rivets, the vent on the front, that's pretty nice. I do like the attempt to match the sides here. Obviously the chest detail's the same, but it comes through pretty well here. The seat is pretty nicely detailed here. There's a nice gas cap as well as a 5mm port. There is a console on the back of his head. That's pretty cool, although it gets a bit lost in all the black here. And then the police lights on the back of the bike, which are cast in two different colored plastics. Very nice looking. I appreciate that they're actual separate pieces and not just painted on. And then there's some nice vent detailing here where the hands were. The kickstand does help if you adjust it right. A lot of the times you have to be like very specific with how you kick it up. If it's ever so slightly off, he will just fall over even in the direction of the kickstand, which is a bit annoying. Otherwise, he does roll not super smoothly. There's very, very low clearance on this bike. It's an alright bike. I'm not exactly amazed by it taking a look at Chromia. I think Chromia honestly looks much better as a motorcycle. It helps that there's no beige in here breaking up the colors. This turquoise does break it up, unfortunately, but less distracting than the beige was down here. I don't know, it kind of works more for me. The different paint here on the windshield does help differentiate it from Prowl. Makes it almost look like a different motorcycle, which is pretty cool. The lining around the panel was changed into this stripe, which looks pretty cool and nifty. I like that it runs along the rivets down here. Still got the silver paint there. I do like that the headlights are more visible now, thanks to the change in colored plastic. I also think that the wheels, frankly, look much better without the shurikens. With the shurikens on, you get honestly, what looks like a cookie. These look like sweets that you would see with like artificial food coloring. I don't know, it just looks very odd. I think if you remove them, she honestly looks like a really cool bike, because of all these cool little highlights around the wheels in a light blue, almost like a Tron bike. They even, strangely, have tiny slivers of blue painted along the very edge of the seam line of the wheel. It's very odd. I didn't notice it at first, but it's there on both wheels. And it kind of impresses me that they did that. It's a very tiny paint app, but it's very appreciated. I respect it quite strongly. But yeah, overall, it's this mold in general is pretty darn good. Now, with my final thoughts on this, I think this is a pretty darn good mold. I weirdly think it kind of works better with Chromia, honestly, due to the stylization. Although, with the pretense that I do wish Chromia could have slightly different proportions just in general to have less broad shoulders. But otherwise, I do think this mold surprised me in how much better it looks as Chromia. Prowl is good. I love Prowl from Animated. But for some reason, this figure just doesn't feel like it works as well as it should for Prowl. Which is weird, because it resembles him pretty well. It's painted like him, and it's styled after him. Yet it just kind of doesn't do it for me. I would recommend picking up Chromia, actually. Pretty darn well painted, and she has very, very eye-catching colors. I do appreciate that. The mold surprisingly hasn't degraded. If anything, it has the problem of some things being a bit tighter than they should be compared to Prowl. But yeah, overall, I recommend this mold. It's pretty darn good. It's a very nice deluxe, very well articulated. I don't really have much problems with it. There's not much hollowness, the plastic feels good. Highly recommend it. Now, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. Please feel free to check me out on Instagram, where I take pictures of figures both for fun and before I review them. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.